we've got video. He came off the roof. He came up here to the parking lot, got in the car with an individual, and they drove away. Well, that's not the story that came. So that he escaped another route, and there are people who are coordinating this thing. I do not believe that 30-06 that they showed recovered in the bushes was ever on the roof. I think it was in the bushes to start with. And now I'm not saying that Tyler Robinson wasn't on the roof. I'm not saying he didn't pull a trigger. I know I was in very, very close proximity. So.
Truth cuts deeper than any bullet. Lies can bury it, but not forever. Everyone thinks they know what happened to Charlie Kirk, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Before we begin, I have just one request: choose your side right now. Subscribe if you believe the truth must come out. Hit like if you think justice has been delayed for far too long. Drop a comment with one word: justice. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next revelation. And if you won't subscribe, then type one word in the comments: truth, because silence protects the lie. Charlie Kirk, a political firebrand, the face of Turning Point USA on that fateful day. The official story was swift and simple. He was assassinated by Tyler Robinson, a lone, radical gunman. The narrative was clean, too clean. Almost immediately, cracks appeared. Witnesses described inconsistencies. Timelines didn't line up. Evidence hinted at more than one player, and when the dust finally settled, one haunting question refused to fade. If Tyler Robinson wasn't the real killer, then who was? If the evidence doesn't match the story, then who really pulled the trigger? We may never know unless we demand the truth together. Subscribe now and stand with our community of truth seekers. Comment with one word, truth, and share this video because silence isn't neutral. Silence protects the lie. Enter Phil Lyman, Utah gubernatorial candidate. A man driven by ambition, yet his statements about the assassination didn't align with the facts. Even Candace Owens would later challenge his version of events, suggesting Lyman was lying or, at the very least, concealing something critical. Why would a politician, seemingly far removed from the crime, step so deeply into a tragedy that wasn't his? And more importantly, why did his story keep changing? In the aftermath, the inner circle behaved strangely. Profiles disappeared, photos vanished, allies pulled away without explanation. One thread led back to Turning Point USA itself, where new leadership figures emerged, almost overnight, as if they had been waiting in the wings. And soon, a darker whisper began to spread. Was someone already rewriting Charlie Kirk's legacy before the truth could even surface? Then came the outsiders, among them Gernot Ohner, a name unknown to the public, yet present in the shadows of this investigation. Who was he? An Austrian national with a faint digital trail and connections that raised far more questions than answers. Why was someone like him linked, however faintly, to the assassination of an American political figure? Was he merely a bystander or part of something much larger? Officials told one story. The evidence told another. Reports claimed the ambulance took one route. Eyewitnesses swore it took a different path. Hospital staff flagged inconsistencies in the emergency timeline that no one could explain. Small lies, tiny fractures. But every investigator knows this truth. When the little lies begin to pile up, they point to something far bigger hiding underneath. The investigation didn't stop at America's borders. Suddenly, threats connected insiders to foreign nationals, some tied to Europe, others to the Middle East, which raises a chilling possibility. Was this only a domestic assassination, or the shadow of an international network at play? If you recognize these names, if you know these faces, your knowledge could be the missing piece. And then the investigators themselves. Detectives with questionable pasts. Political figures who rose in rank almost immediately after the assassination. Undercover operatives quietly reassigned, their files sealed. What were they hiding? And why did the very people sworn to uncover the truth seem so determined to bury it instead? The unanswered questions only grow darker. Why was Charlie taken to the wrong hospital? Why is there no official record of the ambulance route? Why did Turning Point's leadership shift so suddenly after his death? And what, exactly, was quietly scheduled in the hours before the assassination? These questions remain unanswered. And maybe that's the point. If the evidence doesn't match the story, then who really pulled the trigger? We may never know unless we demand the truth together. Subscribe now and stand with our community of truth seekers. Comment with one word, truth, and share this video because silence isn't neutral. Silence protects the lie.